isn't that what you had?
Contrary to popular opinion, I'm the head nigger in charge. King Kong ain't got shit on me.
When you look at the credit,
Yeah.
the girlies are there.
Good Times just always, it just felt too sad every time. I was like, they keep calling it Good Times, but like every episode is like, Lord, where's the money?
And that's friends in real life.
Listen, welcome to the second season, Friends in Real Life. I'm Chris. That's
Tristan.
yeah. And we're gonna get right into it. Something that we're super excited to be doing video this season, something that Tristan desperately begged me to be a part of. And I was like, fine, I don't think they need to see my face, but here we are. And this is but now I love that you get to see her faces. Which
Please don't piss me off. Please. You know, I've never been interested in the story of video ever.
That is not true. You not being in the video, but we love video.
Yeah. I'm here for it for everyone else except for me. I don't need it. It's never been my thing. It'll never be my thing, but you know, you guys keep saying that this is what the folks want, so
here we are. So we're gonna get, we're gonna get right
this
into
space does not belong on the Tizoob, okay? I don't know.
Raise your hand if you believe that, audience. No one's hands up. Right. So party of one over there. No, we're gonna get started. We're gonna talk about a few things, but first, probably the most relevant or important is the Emmys, which aired a few weeks ago, which kind of snuck up on us, to be honest. We were actually out at a party,
Yeah, missed it.
and was like, oh shoot, like I was getting hit up with like, oh, the red carpet. I'm like, damn it, that's right. Emmys are today. Oh shoot. So at any rate,
You have people cussing me out, mind you.
Wait, what?
You have people cussing me out, telling me to send you back home so that you can do, your red carpet polls. And I'm like, what are you even talking about? And that's when I realized, like, oh shit, it is the Emmys tonight. So, we were off having big fun on a rooftop somewhere, and these people were getting their awards and things. So, I mean, you can talk about it because you know me, when it comes to these award shows, I'm only really caring about the red carpet anyway. And that was tragic. And the shows that were the most popular ones of the night, I haven't seen. So please take it away.
Okay, well, I do want to say yes. Majority of the things that won, I had seen versus you. You did see some of the things, right? Obviously, Adolescence won a bunch of awards. We didn't talk about Adolescence on this show, I don't think, but we talked about it in our usual conversations.
Right. But you actually did watch it, right?
Yes, I did. I did watch it. Yeah, I did watch it, and I mean, the actor who played what is his name? Shoot, everyone was talking about. What's that young guy's name?
Kid? What is that kid's name?
It's
phenomenal.
Yeah, Owen Cooper.
Yes.
Owen Cooper, I think the youngest actor to win that award.
Yeah.
The ever outstanding, well-deserved. Like I couldn't believe how good he was. Erin Doherty, who was also supporting actress, she won for that.
Yeah.
And then the guy who played his father, who also was apparently a writer on it or part of it.
He got his little behind the scenes credit. He got his acting credit. I felt like that series was gonna be the winner, chicken dinner. Mm-hmm. Like when I saw it, I just knew. I was like, this is gonna be one of those shows where they're gonna be talking about, if nothing else, these performances.
Yes.
And that kid ate. He really did.
I mean, on the ropes, I was like the guy's name, the guy who won was named Steven. But I was like the father in that show. Like I was like, did he do this? Because there's no way he could have done this. Like, there's no way. Like it was just that convincing, that good. Had you on the rope. Everybody involved in it was good. To your point, it reminded me of like when Baby Reindeer happened. I was like, no, this is gonna win all the awards.
Yes.
So
It
kind
did
of
have that energy of Baby Reindeer, where it's just like, ooh, this quietly came out of nowhere, but did everything it needed to do. So and I know you with child actors. When I was trying to sell you on watching this show, and I was like, no, that little boy did an amazing job. And you were like, kids. And I'm like, no, you have to you have to see what this boy does and how he really sucks you into believing that he is that kid. Like he got lost in that character. And
for sure.
I think young actors like that, when they can do that, that is a form of genius that has always fascinated me. So shout out to them.
He's for sure, I think, he's probably in my top 5 as far as child or teen actors who came in and did the damn thing. You know what I mean? Like he was really, really good. And I feel like he wasn't annoying. See, I don't like annoying characters. So I feel like that is where I get the issues with children, like the angry teen kind of thing, like Ginny and Georgia kind. Not a fan, but like this, I mean, impeccable. So shout out to him. Shout out to the rest of the cast who did win. And I think that's where the shows you ended. That's where it ends, right? So
that's where I throw in the towel because
well, look, the Pit, a show I think we talked about last season, one of my favorite shows of the year, knew it would win for as much as it did. It won, for best drama series, excuse me. Noah Wiley won for lead actor. I mean, it's an impactful show. Just very, just amazing. Just really puts you in the heart of what it's like to be an ER. And I've self-admittedly don't love medical dramas. I was never a fan. I've never watched Grey's Anatomy. I never really watched ER. I don't really find.
Watched one episode of Grey's Anatomy.
No, I was not interested. Yeah.
Even I got sucked into that.
It's just a little too. Well, I'm not going to say what I was going to say. Now in this video, I feel pressure to like
to watch yourself, right? I didn't want to do video.
You can hide behind the screen, but like what? I'm like, oh shit. Like I was like, there wasn't anyone I felt like was attractive enough for me to watch that show, and that's terrible because it's not true. But that was the thinking at the time when the show came out.
It's not why we're here.
I'm watching this. Like, you think I care about what Sandra Oh and Katherine Heigl got going on? Like, I don't. But anyway. I'm
not doing this with you.
I'm just saying, but all jokes aside, no, really, really great show. Happy for Noah, happy for everyone involved in that show. And we haven't talked red carpet because there wasn't much, but I did want to call out that I thought it was dope that Noah Wiley wore a suit from Figs.
The company. Yeah, Fix the Scrubs. I did that little tidbit from my my recap when I had to go and figure out what the hell went on that night. And they mentioned that, and I was like, "Oh, that's really cool."
Mm-hmm.
I think yeah.
And then some other notable things. Obviously the studio won a bunch. Another show that I thought was really great and knew would kind of win. It's like that perfect mix of silly, but also just like very smart. So shout out to that. Shout out to Hacks, a show that I've talked about since season 1. Like a really great one. Jean Smart, Hannah, like it's just all very, very good. Funny.
These are all shows that you have been telling me like you need to watch this. You need to watch this. Mm-hmm. So I'm gonna get on it. If you all could stop distracting me with foolishness, like all the men in Beauty and Black, then maybe I could get to some more quality television.
Lady, you had the time. You chose to go for All the Queen's Men. You could have watched Severance.
No.
You could have watched Hacks. You could have watched The Pit.
But these are not the shows y'all are talking about in the chat.
That's true.
Y'all are talking about Beauty and Black. Y'all are getting me all excited about foolishness. So, do we really love these shows as much as what we
We
say?
do. I mean, I do feel like All the Queen's Men and Beauty and the Black deserve to be nominated, and they weren't. And I feel like that wasn't right. Yeah.
Please don't piss me off. Please.
Listen, excuse me. How dare you? Mr. Bellery is a fine actor. Deserves all the things.
I mean, not for nothing.
Mhm.
I did see old Horace's six-pack on Instagram the other day, and I was like, let me find out.
Find out what? Okay.
Look, I might have a birthday coming up, but I'm not too old for sugar daddies yet. Am I? Ew, I kind of am. Ew, no, because then, yeah. Sugar daddies at this point are my dad's age, but I digress, and that's gross. That's always
Oh,
been my cutoffs.
yes, that's fair.
So now,
Verse can is there a younger version of a sugar daddy? Like, is it sugar? No, Sugar Brothers nuts. Is it like
sir, please.
what's
What are
the
you
young
talking
of the
about?
same kind of energy, but just younger? Is there a thing? Maybe we should find out.
A YN with an NBA contract? I don't know. That's what that sounds like to me.
I don't know. Shout out to someone can help you with that. I'm sure someone we've mentioned on the show before.
Oh, I'm telling you, I'm in that weird middle ground now where
With what?
can't be old enough to be my dad, can't be young enough to be my child. That window is closing up on me.
Yeah. They got to be like 3 years younger than you. That's going to be like the cut.
Right.
3 years or too low.
I can go 10 years either way. That's it. Anyway, back to the Emmy. I don't even know how we got here.
I don't know
Bye.
either. But one thing I want to say, and then we can end at least the Emmys from my point of view is I want to shout out Tremel Tillman, who won for Severance.
Yeah.
First time, also historic first Black actor to win that role, and I'm sure probably first openly queer actor
First
to win.
openly queer Black male to win
Yeah.
in that category. So
and he's great.
And we're still having historic firsts, but
It's insane. It's insane. But he's outstanding on that show, particularly this past season. So I'm glad he got not only recognized, but he won the award. So shout out to him. It's great.
Catch up on all this stuff.
Yes, no more.
I know.
No more,
No more foolishness. No, I'm going to get serious. I'm going to get serious. I'm going to get serious.
So, speaking of, we're going to take a short little break here. But speaking of catching up, we got to talk about people wilding in these streets. And by people, I mean government. And by government, I mean our president.
I'm not talking about that, man. Now, I'll talk about the backlash.
Yes.
Of the stupid things that are going on under his eye. But I can't. I have nothing left.
I mean, you would think we'd be done, but yet every day there's a new set of things to react to.
Every day is a new hold my beer moment. Every day. So I'm tired. But yeah, we'll get into First Amendment shenanigans when we come back.
We'll take a little break and we'll be right back to talk through the drama of TV. And we're back. All right. So
yeah. So, this has just been such a weird time that we're living in. And like you and I were talking recently about just how disgusted I am to have taken 4 years out of my life at a major university to literally study the First Amendment. Like, literally took a journalistic oath to uphold this particular part of the Constitution, right? So I feel like this is in my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
But honey, these are some sad, dark times we are living in because they are taking hits on everybody at this point. Anytime late night comedians can't talk their shit, we're cooked.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. We are cooked. these are the people who have been completely off limits, right? To say whatever they want
Mm-hmm.
about political figures, things going on in the world,
Mm-hmm.
blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
And everybody, I think, really took for granted that this is honestly the one thing that truly makes America America, is that we have the right, for better or worse, to talk crazy,
Yeah.
especially
Mhm.
especially if it's under the guise of comedy,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
So like journalism is one thing. That goes by a very strict set of rules and guidelines and
Mhm.
ethics. But, we also know all of that shit went out the window the moment that journalism became tied to ratings, which was the beginning of the end, right? Nobody should be caring about ratings when your job is to report what is going on in the world.
Right. Yeah.
So we lost the plot on that a long time ago anyway.
Sure. Yeah.
But now Jimmy Kimmel can't talk.
I mean, you know, yes, to your earlier point, like you're right. Late night comedy, especially, right? Even if you think about if you see in movies, if something happened that's fictional, they'll show a scene of like Jay Leno or David Letterman talking about whatever. Like it's always
Right.
been that, right? And so, like the idea, and then there's been talk about comedy being censored, right, over the years, and people have been flagged and things like that. But generally speaking, from that like the late night slot, it's always been able to like talk about whatever, poke fun at whoever. Like no one was off limits, right? Not even the president, right? So I mean,
Especially not the president.
Especially not the president.
The whole premise of the first, I don't know, 10 minutes or however much they give to the opening monologues on those shows.
Yes.
When have they not included
right
dragging any president for blood in some way, shape, or form? Like,
correct. Yeah, it's always been a thing. I'm thinking even when I was a kid, Bill Clinton jokes. Like there was always like so much so that like if he showed up, it was like, oh shoot, like he showed up and played the saxophone, blah blah blah. Like so yeah, it definitely is crazy that we're in a space now where you can't say anything about the Cheeto in chief without it being flagged, or in this case, you being silenced, and or fined even, right? Like it's really bad. And I guess it started, well, I guess it technically started with Joanne Reed, but that's another story for
it started over at MSNBC. Oh, don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
Like we got.
Yeah.
It got all of this because now the face of the people being affected looks a little bit different, right?
Mm-hmm.
But let us not forget all of the house cleaning that went on over at MSNBC.
Yeah.
When those are true journalists.
Right.
Okay. Like these are people for whom like this is what they do primarily, is to talk about this kind of stuff. And so, yeah, it started when they started losing jobs.
Yeah. Yeah.
But we were talking about it.
Sure. But nobody boycotted MSNBC.
But nobody boycotted MSNBC. Except the people who are already over it, like I've been
in general, but they don't want to. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
But it was not this huge, massive uproar like it was when, I guess, and maybe Jimmy was the, last straw because it started with the firings of a lot of, journalists and then Steve Colbert and then, and so they formed a pattern at that point.
Yes.
So when it got to Jimmy, it was just like, okay, maybe now everybody can hear the alarms.
Yeah.
No, but it's, he's back.
He's back.
So
you ever think he want to be back though?
Does he want to be back, you said?
Did you ever think he wouldn't be back? Did anyone feel like he was
No. I mean, in a perfect world, he wouldn't have come back.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, this is why things never change.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is exactly why we're here.
Yes.
Because nobody actually
Yeah.
drives the point all the way home.
Yeah.
Because why? Because Jimmy Kimmel couldn't find another
Right.
network.
Yeah.
His whole entire cast, crew, and audience
Go right somewhere else.
could go wherever he was going.
To go could pitch a deal with some other streaming platform.
Oh,
And I also feel like, and this is the part for me that was a little disappointing. Like, you know, obviously he came back and he's had like highest ratings he ever had in the whole thing. And like his opening monologue was like 4 million views in 24 hours and all 13 million views. So it was like crazy, right?
yeah, it was
like
wild.
you was still on some like I have friends on both sides energy. And I was like, no, this is not it. Like
that's the problem. And that's the problem. That's you having friends on both sides is exactly why I didn't really care. But that's
right.
also the problem. You know, like that was a moment where he really could have been like, I quit. Because he wasn't necessarily fired, right? Just so we can be clear,
Right.
he was not being broadcast in
Right.
certain areas by a certain, you know, carrier or whatever you call the third party folks. And so he was still on. He just couldn't be viewed everywhere. But for me, and we all know this is why I'm not further along, because I don't care enough about any job to compromise my last nerve.
Yeah.
Or my integrity, right? Or my moral code. Or just blatantly being disrespectful, or, you know, any of those things that people have to suffer through in order to be somewhere in life, doing quote unquote what they want to do for a paycheck. I'm not willing to do any of those things. So the moment it all went down, I would have been packing my little glad rags and been out the door. You can find somebody else to fill this time slot. And see how you do.
Yeah.
Because I'm fine.
Yeah.
And this is the problem. Nobody ever says, you know what? I make enough money. I'm not going to fucking starve because, you know, if I walk away from this, I'm not, you know what I mean? But what I might do is show people who have way too much power that you can't keep playing with me because you're a billionaire, insert whatever position you hold here.
Sure. Yeah.
We have so many missed moments. And this is how I know nobody is taking this seriously. You could not have paid me to go back in front of that camera again as Jimmy Kimmel.
Wouldn't have done it. Not even if it was like, I'll do it under these terms, like under this will never happen again, under like I can say what I want, under like, no, don't matter. You would have been like, oh, y'all don't want me to be Bowcast? I'm out. Okay. Yeah.
No.
Okay. Yeah. I feel
every journalist who shows up to a White House press conference, what are you doing?
You're saying currently today?
Currently today, right now. Not nary a journalist is doing anything to uphold journalistic integrity in that man's face.
Well, some have tried and they've been asked not to come back, right? Like
and that's why the ones who are allowed to come back should not be showing up. Journalism is a collective idea.
Yeah.
If you're not standing in solidarity for this right, and it's literally the whole reason why you're here, what are we doing?
Yeah. Because you've seen the people who have like, I think it's Robin Givhan from Watch Post that like asked to be bought out of her contract. You know, like you see people who have like been like, I'm actually not interested in this, right? Like, and that's happened across. You know what I'm saying? Another person who's obviously amazing at what she's done, it does, right? But like also is like, I don't need to do this. Like this is not. And like she covers fashion and she's still like, no, thank you, right? So it's like to your point, yeah, it's about the solidarity of like I don't want anything to do with reporting any sort of thing under this regime. Right? Yeah. Yeah.
And we all know that it has to come from a certain group of people.
Well,
It can't keep coming from the same people who have been talking about this nonsense for hundreds of years at this point. Clearly,
yeah.
no one's listening to us.
Yeah.
We've
Yeah.
established that already.
Mhm.
So if the people who actually have the ability to change the course of this aren't doing their due diligence, even when they themselves are affected by it,
Right.
we're cooked.
Yeah. 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 It's a wrap because you're right. Journalism is question mark. So many people who are good at what they do aren't getting the work because they won't conform, right? We've got a bunch of people cosplaying as journalists, right? You know, like from other eras and TikTok and wherever the case may be.
Right.
And, you know, celebrities in their third act sort of deciding to move into the spaces that journalists usually take, right? So it's really tough. Yikes. No bueno. Let me ask you this. With the freedom of speech and all of that and that conversation, right? Is there a point where that is taken too far? Where
Absolutely. Absolutely. But that we've been there. So, you know what I mean? Like, we passed that point a long time ago and decided as a society that we were all going to be okay with it.
Good. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that's fair.
We stopped after not yelling fire in a crowded theater.
Now we're just shooting up in the theater. So no one knows even what's going on. Why
Take
yell
everybody in the theater out, sure. But you can't yell fire in a crowded theater. That's pretty much where everything else was fair game.
Everything else is
right?
fair game. Can't say fire in the theater. Can't say bomb on a plane. Everything else, hey, go for it. Like,
it's been Wild Kingdom concerning everything else, which is that a good idea? Absolutely not. Listen, I don't think everyone deserves to be heard. I've been saying this day one. Okay? I don't.
yeah, okay.
But we're already here.
Yeah.
Okay? And since we can't decide who should decide who gets the right to speak or not, because that's really what the problem is. It's not, we all know, majority of the people talking need to shut the hell up. The problem is who decides, right?
Yeah.
That's how we got here, because in order for one group or one person to decide that somebody else shouldn't be heard, then you no longer have a democracy. You see what I'm saying? So like,
still don't, but yes, for that, yeah.
right.
Yeah.
But or the illusion of whatever you want to call it, you know, like that has always been what has separated the United States of America from everywhere else.
Right. Yeah.
You have the freedom to be as ignorant as you want to be here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I hate it.
I do too, but it's constitutional law, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you know, and they act like amendments aren't a thing anymore. So, you know, nobody wants to.
We talk about amendments, but only the past amendments. We don't actually think about.
Nobody wants to bring a new amendment.
We're fighting for the first two, for sure, right? Like the free speech and right to bear arms, right? Those are the two we're like, gotta keep them. But like someone could say, hey, like this could save you from having, you know, an oligarchy, or this could save you from a dictatorship. We're like, nah.
I mean, it's all in there. It's all in there.
Right.
But nobody cares about the rest of what's going on in that document. So, you know, it's a wild time we are living in, and I hope lessons get learned, and you know, if we survive it, we never end up, you know, back here again. I went to really good schools and paid attention in history class, so I know that you know, what we are experiencing is, in my opinion, we still haven't gotten to the scariest of the scariest parts of this yet, right? Like, if we really know the true history of this place, we know that even now, the only reason why the people who are panicking is because they have some kind of like mental block, or or weren't present in American history class, or weren't meant to read the autobiography of Malcolm X during the summer, or like
Yeah. Mhm.
but it's bad.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
It's
bad.
bad. It's pretty bad. It's
It's
got it.
gonna get worse before it gets better, right? So, like, these quote unquote small wins of him coming back and really showing Trump is not a thing, because like Disney also went up in price. Disney Plus also went up in price, and Hulu went up in price. Like, they're still gonna get their money. Don't think
Get their coin.
like they lost all that money. You think they're just gonna eat that and call it? No, Mickey's
Right.
getting on the phone and saying, "Yo, what up?" Like, run it up. Like, I want everybody to know we back. Like, you know what I'm saying? So,
Right.
yeah.
So, we just have to see how things go. But in the meantime and in between time, it's literally stuff like this that makes me pull back
Mm-hmm.
from certain spaces, because I am not one of the ones that can just shut up and go along with the craziness of it all. I'll quit.
Yeah.
I'll clear this whole shit. Nobody will have a job. Now what?
I mean, I thought about that too. One thing I wanted to ask you, and then after we do this, we can take another break. But do you see a future still in late night television? Is there a point? Is there a purpose still for late night comedians and hosts in 11:30? Because I feel like no one watches it in real time. Everyone watches the clips anyway the next day. So curious, like what you.
Chris, I honestly do not care for that form of TV at all.
Like ever or current state?
Ever. Like
Ever.
ever. Like I'm not a talk show
That's right. You
person.
don't really care for talk shows like
Yeah.
that, except for
I
like
don't.
Oprah. Stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, like back in the day I watched Oprah, but Oprah was talking about like topics that I was interested in. But like just a constant stream of celebrities telling their little silly story. It's like so formulaic. It's like, okay, you sit down, you tell the funny story, and then you talk about the whatever it is that it's all so promotional
Mm-hmm.
and aged, and it's corny to me. It's always been corny to me. I honestly, ever since I would say like Arsenio Hall was
Okay.
probably the last time I cared about a late night talk show situation. And that was because I wanted to
Okay.
see my people perform it. Yeah,
Yeah.
like that was lit. Like that was for the culture.
Yeah, for sure.
But like Letterman and Kimmel and Jimmy Fallon and all of those guys, I don't give a shit about any of that.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
really don't. They're not funny to me. The monologues have never been that great to me. Like that
Mm.
whole kind of format is just like really corny to me. And so such a Hollywood fluff piece in the grand scheme of entertainment. Like, ugh.
I find it so fascinating. So like, because like for me, and I hear you. Like, I'm obviously not wild about stand-up comedian anything, right? So a show you would think I'd be like, what is this? But I always did find it interesting. I've actually gone to see some shows live. Like I saw Letterman, and I think that's it. I saw Letterman, and then back in the day, I saw like Gayle King when she had a show, and like all that. So I've always been like kind of
Wow.
interested. Yeah, I know, right? Always
Well,
been
I
kind of.
went to a taping once,
What did you go taping of?
the Amber Rose show.
Okay. On that note, we're gonna take a small break. We're gonna take a small break. I'm gonna cuss you out behind the
Excuse
scenes.
me. Yes.
Amber, you had that whole discussion about journalism and
Okay.
screen, the
First
importance
of all,
of using your voice, and then you said, and then I went to the Amber Rose show.
excuse me, Judge Judy, before you go drag me,
You love, by the way.
well, yeah, I love Judge Judy. No, I went because this was when I just
Give
moved to
away
LA.
tickets in the mall, and like what was that?
Dude, I have no idea how we ended up at Paramount Studios at that. I don't even know how we got there. I swear to you, to this day, I know it's nothing I signed up for. So somebody had passes to it. And I was like, sure, it's just another, like LA thing to do. And plus, I really just wanted to see the studio.
Fair.
'cause
That's fair.
So I was like, oh yeah, let's do it. So we ended up being
Who
in
was
the
the guest? Was there a guest?
Tyson Bedford.
Wait, what?
Tyson was
Oh,
her guest.
okay. That's kind of
Tyson,
fulsome. I'll allow
yeah.
it. I'll
Isn't
allow
it
it.
so
Yeah, I'll allow it. I'll
right?
allow it.
And it was funny because they rotate you. Like when you were, did they rotate your seating when you were? No, because see, night shows are more like completely focused on
Yeah.
the host the entire time.
Well, for the
Whereas
most
whereas like for a talk show, when they are like standing in front of the audience
yeah.
at certain points, then it's more camera facing on,
Yeah.
who's in the room.
Yeah.
So they kept moving me so
Mhm.
that I was always in her frame so I was like, okay, if this ever airs, I'm going to be really annoyed because I'm going to keep seeing myself in the background every time so I don't know. It was a day. It was something to do. It was cute. It was
No,
fun.
I'm with all of that, but I do just want to call out that they kept moving you to be in frame of the show,
Whatever.
which is the reason why, one of the reasons why I knew that you had to, so I just want to be clear, because if the studio execs see it, right? I feel like I've been moved out of frame. I feel like when I've been shown, they're like, excuse
Sir,
me.
please. Goodbye.
I'm
No.
like, I was definitely in the audience. Why am I not next to like what happened? I asked the question though.
I'm not doing this. I'm not doing
About
this.
that. Shout out to my sister. We went to see the Anderson Cooper show.
Oh, wow.
I went to the Anderson Cooper show, and they were like looking around. And they were like, "You," to my sister, of course. Like they're like, "You." They were like, "Do you have a question you want to ask?" And like she didn't, but she was like, "Sure." And they're like, "All right, we'll give you a question." And like she asked it, and like she was on camera, and it's a whole thing. So it's like I'm in the back there, kind of like blurred out, of course, but like yeah, like it's.
You are not blurred. Cut it out.
They gave me one of those like blurred out
That's a
faces.
mosaic.
Like,
Ciao. Goodbye. No.
I will say like like what is it like when you're like witness protection, like they blurred it out, like changed my voice, everything. It was fine. But anyway, shout out to her. Shout out to Nina. But because the clip is still on YouTube. I'll find the clip and I'll post it. You'll see just like an emoji over my face. But
Sir, please. I can't.
I know. So we'll take a little break here. And when we come back, we're going to talk about some of the stuff we've watched and really, really, because, the folks have been really critical over some Black art lately. And I want to talk about it. So we'll take a little break and we'll come back.
Oh, boy.
All right. So we're back. Shout out to Amber Rose. And actually, no, that's before she became,
That was before she,
Yeah. Post Kanye, pre MAGA. Right. Okay. That was the sweet spot.
That is a weird space to be in. No matter what.
No matter who you are, right, Kim?
Yeah.
No? Okay. Yikes. Okay, is that the trajectory? Okay, never mind. Let's not go there. Let's take the high road and go and talk about thank you. So we've been talking about, obviously we like to see movies, and this what this pod is about. And there was a lot of talk around Highest to Lowest, Spike Lee's latest effort. It's got Denzel, it's got A$AP Rocky, it's got Jeffrey Wright, like so many, Rick Fox, like there's been a lot of random, it's like, so I was pretty excited, or at least interested in seeing this film. And I have to say, after seeing it, it particularly was bad. It was really, really bad. And I wanted it to be good, but it was not. So I was for sure thinking it was going to be A$AP. He was going to be
the way you just came out and said it was just really, I was not ready for you to just go right into.
Oh yeah, no, listen,
that it was bad.
yeah, it was, yeah, we're not gonna mince any words. And I love Spike, or have loved Spike's work in the past. I don't want to go too deep in it, but I feel like his last film that I really cared about might have been like Inside Man. But you know, and you're talking to a guy who's asked his dad to take him to the theater and let him watch Spike Lee movies at a very young age. Like I was seeing Girl Six and all that stuff because I loved Spike.
Yeah.
So yeah, but this was just particularly, I don't know what was up with the script. I don't know what was up with the acting. I don't know what was up with, and it's based on a book, right, or reimagining of a play. So the material was already sort of there, right? And I like when people do stuff like that. That's what Mara did with Forever. Like you take something that's in a completely different, world and time and bring it into something that's current and put fresh eyes on it and like a nice spin on it. Yep. But nah, yo, this joint was like, the movie ended and I was like, what? Yeah. Throughout the film, I was like, what? And then the movie ended up, I was like, what? Like,
I was so confused.
right.
I was so confused. First of all, the promo for the movie, I loved.
Wow.
I loved the Spike, ASAP, and Denzel trifecta and the chemistry between them during the interviews for the movie.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah.
But that movie, I couldn't believe that was what everybody signed off on.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't understand the tone. Like, there were some parts where I'm like, is this supposed to be a comedy?
Yeah.
Because with the subject matter that we're dealing with,
yep.
the dialogue and the emotional response just seemed very lighthearted to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I didn't understand that aspect of it.
The
And
music did not help.
the music was,
I'm sure it was Terrence Blanchard. I love him, right? But like,
didn't go.
Why are you playing Papa was a Rolling Stone in the middle of this?
It just,
what was happening? The music was all over the place. And it was just like,
it was all over the place, especially because I know Spike loves to do like jazz, that whole like intense jazz music.
Yes.
It's like the score for almost all of his films. And, like we mentioned, Terrence Blanchard, shout out to him. He's been holding Spike down for decades now. And we love him.
We do.
But in this particular film, the soundtrack was just like this random, it just seemed so random and out of place to me and did not move the scenes along in a way that made sense at all. The dialogue was, who wrote that?
It's just, I mean, well, and the interesting thing about the music part too is because this film is rooted in a music producer and it's one who has this ear, it was very like tone deaf and like dissonant to not have any sort of like music continuity or any sort of like music playing the role of like another character in that way, which is kind of all over the place. And even the talent he was signing was like, what is this? What, like?
Yeah. It was, I don't even know what could have been done to make it better. I don't know because there were so many elements that just came together in very strange ways that I'm just like, what is it? There wasn't like one thing that made it bad. It just was overall, it just was a miss. And I'm sad at the missed opportunity because I don't think A$AP Rocky did a bad job of acting. Let me just start there. I don't think that he did bad in the role. I think it was just a bad role.
Yeah.
I think the material that he was given.
Yeah.
Because guess what? Denzel wasn't even good in that movie.
Oh.
And we all know Denzel can act. See, so you see what I'm saying? Like this was just
Everybody can act in
this
that.
was not the best use of Jeffrey Wright. He wasn't even strong in this.
What exactly was the point of his role?
I don't know.
Because Jeffrey Wright not only is one of my favorite actors, and also in the running to play me in the TV or film adaptation of our story, right? Like Jeffrey Wright is now up top. Like it's like Jeffrey Wright, Seth Rogen, like Ryan Tyree. Like that's the chronological order, but order of preference. But like I was like, what exactly? Like, because I was like, are they trying to make it seem like? Because at first I was like, maybe he's spoiler alert if you guys haven't seen the film. I was like, maybe he's like the one behind. And I was like, that would make sense. That would track like all of that.
That would have made a good storyline.
You know, he maybe always wanted to be in the industry, but couldn't because of the time served and all the stuff. Like, I'm like, that I'd have been like, word, this makes sense. But like, no, you're just the driver who's like, who didn't drive in the beginning of the film because you were like in a Rivian, but now it's like, it's just like it's strange. It's bad. Everyone deserves better. It's crazy that the best actor in that film was Ice Spice. Like it's nuts. Like it's nuts. Because she did her thing. And I've never said that about her. I never would again. But like she was good and the baby mother was good. That was Ace, the character's baby mother was good. Like
two people who are on screen all of 10 minutes combined.
Right.
Between the two of them. They probably got 10 minutes of screen time.
Right.
But at least they showed up and did what needed to be done in that little short time. Because the ones who you were expecting to really carry the film just couldn't carry that film. Mm-hmm. You just couldn't carry that movie. Mm-hmm. And, you know, we will explore the whole, you know, Spike Lee universe in a later episode. Yeah. Because, you know, I have my things with him. And like you, I grew up obsessed with Spike Lee movies. You know, like this is a girl who came home from school and used to pop that School Days VHS in that VCR every other day. Like, always thought Spike was cool. And
listen, I don't want to be alone. That's what she was like. They were like doing that joint. Yeah, they killed it.
One of the best musical performances in a movie.
You know it's good because Black people don't like musicals on screen. And so if they're able to sit through, Spike Lee loves to add a musical number into his thing. So like, it's good when people were like, we don't mind that they're singing randomly in the middle of this film. You know what I mean? Like, and good and bad hair and all that jazz. Like, like
choreography just in the middle because why not? Right? So we're used to Spike being a little off the cuff. Yeah. But there are those quintessential Spike Lee things that he does in all of his movies that have become his signature over the years that I've never been crazy about. So, and those things showed up in Highest to Lowest and made a bad situation worse.
They definitely did not elevate, literally. So like, so it's like,
not at all. So
it's bad. All the puns are there. Like it's the lowest rated film. It's the lowest grossing film. No. I'm making that up. But like it just wasn't. It
wasn't there. It just was not there. I would be curious because I don't know anybody who thought it was good. Like I have not seen anyone say like, you know, because even a lot of times when people are going in on like Tyler Perry movies and how bad they are, he will always have somebody there to defend.
Absolutely.
Like, I thought it was great. I don't know what you guys were watching. I thought it was good. I have not seen one person try to give this film any ounce of benefit of doubt. Like,
if you think about it, you talked earlier about you loving the, you know, interviews between like Spike and Braid-Sap and ASAP and
please stop calling that man Braid-Sap.
It's perfect. Shout out to him and congratulations on Rocky. We love that. But on all seriousness, even those interviews, as great as they were, and I agree, there was a lot of great chemistry between the three of them. which I was like, why? Where was that on the film? But fine. But like those interviews didn't really talk about the film. They talked about like what it was like and like the process around the film and like their relationship and how that is. It didn't talk about like any of the particulars of the film, right? Even with you talked about, like people talking about it on the internet. I didn't see one spoiler. I didn't see one title card. And I thought, okay, maybe they're listening to me, but no, it's because no one cared enough to even do that. You know what I'm saying? Like there wasn't even like an interest of like,
right.
oh, not at all. So
right. Yeah. And anytime people talked about it, they were saying this is garbage. This is pretty bad. I'm always curious, like, as to how actors of a certain caliber get caught up in a movie that's bad like that. Because I feel like Denzel knows better. You've been in enough stuff at this point in your career to be able to, discern between what you usually do in this material you've been given. And I know Spike is your brother. I know y'all have a long history. And I love that for them. You know, I do. But if the work is not there, then y'all can keep your little friendship at your backyard barbecue.
Right. Yeah.
Like
finger than call it. Yeah, no, I think I mean the one thing I will say is that like to that point, Denzel has been very particular about what he's taking in the last few years, right? And it's been on some like, I'm not doing many more roles kind of thing, right? Like he's like, I got like 3 or 4 in me and then I'm calling it. I'm gonna let my son go for it, or my sons or whatever, my daughter, whoever. So so to your point, to pick this as one of the last is strange. And he's not a person that does things just to do them. He's not like, I'm just gonna keep acting until I can't, right? Like I don't think
the wheels fall off. Yeah, no.
Yeah, so it is very strange. I wanted it to be better. It wasn't. And it's not a film that I even want to watch again. Because I was like, maybe I need to see it another time. No, I don't even want to do that. I can't get back that time, like.
And I started to. I was gonna give it another shot and say, maybe I'm missing something.
Yeah, because sometimes things go over, not us, but like in general, it can go over your head, or like you look at it with a second set of eyes and go, actually, no, this film is actually, like there's a film that I love that everyone hates, which is Vanilla Sky. And like I've watched that film 1,000 times because I really enjoyed it, but people hated that film, right? It's always on people's like worst.
I've never seen Vanilla Sky.
Okay.
I've never seen Vanilla Sky. You know why? I think I curved it because people kept saying how bad it was.
Yeah.
And people, then, like, of course, life went on, and I
not going back to it.
Caring. But now that I'm thinking about it, I could not tell you. That's Tom Cruise and Cameron Diaz?
And Penelope Cruz.
Penelope Cruz. Okay. Yeah. Nope.
But yeah. Yeah. That's one of my favorite films, and people hate that film. So, I understand that could happen, but this is not the case with this. To your point, no one has said it's been their favorite. Like it's been like, anyway. But speaking of critics and critiques of films, there's another film we want to talk about called Him, that according to Rotten Tomatoes got a lovely 28%. So it is not well received by critics. Yet we saw it and I at least didn't share the sentiment that it was a terrible film, which is what the narrative is being painted around this film. It definitely has some issues, some things that I don't think worked from a device standpoint throughout. I thought that the acting was great between Marlon Wayans and Tariq, and even Julia Fox was a surprise, and she's an irk to me in general, but I thought she was really good. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when she was Baptist news and whatever, like she always annoyed me with that, but like she's actually good. Like she was actually good in Uncle Jam. Wow. But so, she can act, so we love it. But yeah, I thought that the film was all right. Now I'm in hearing, well, I want to hear your take on it before I go into that. But yeah, I thought it was good. We saw it together. Thankfully in a theater that knows how to keep quiet. So no issues there, thankfully.
Shout out to the Alamo, man.
Listen,
Like,
we'll come back anytime you want to have us. Like it was great. Our popcorn was popping. We were good. Like it was chef's kiss.
although, did I ever tell you about my like low-key fear about the popcorn at the Alamo?
No,
My OCD.
because of the
Don't
bowl.
don't carry this with you, but something tells me that they are recycling that never-ending popcorn situation.
Like they dump it out and put it back into the bin, and then why do you think that? Because
Because
never.
that's what people do. That's the gross
I
stuff
mean,
that people do
I mean,
for purpose of like, I don't think they're obviously they're not supposed to do that. It's
sure.
disgusting. But are y'all really throwing away all that old popcorn at the end of the night?
Well, no, the end of the night, no. End of the night, no. Well, it depends on your theater. So, fun fact: I worked at a movie theater when I was in high school, and we had a manager, and he was like, "No, we're dumping popcorn every night." So every night we had to dump the popcorn out of the bin into like this large.
God bless that person.
And then and I actually took it home one day, which was absolutely nuts. And we had popcorn for like weeks, like a month actually. Like I brought the bag home like in the car. Mom was like, all right. And like we froze some of it. It was so
That is
popcorn for like months. Because it was bomb. Like, I had popped it myself. Like, I knew how to use it.
yeah.
But so generally speaking, they're supposed to throw it out. Then we had a manager that was like, no, don't throw it out. Just keep it there the next day. And then like, yeah.
That's
So
what I'm saying. It's always that one trifling manager who is always ready.
I think they throw it out. I really think they throw it out. I can find out for you. I know someone I think who works there. So if you're concerned, actually, I won't tell you.
They're just bringing that stuff out and just.
Oh. But I've even seen when they start, they're cleaning up for the next thing. They're dumping. Now, the actual where it's coming from, I'm not sure. But like they for sure throw out the stuff. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay.
They better.
Okay. Well, Alamo, if you're better be throwing out that popcorn.
Because you know me, I'm used to seeing my stuff, right? But when they
Right.
bring it to you, then it's like,
Yeah, you don't know where it's coming from.
no, you didn't just bring this leftover bowl over from
They brought it from Theater 8. They just brought
Theater
it over.
8. Right. No, definitely. See? Right.
Stop it. No, I'm not having this. See, now I'm gonna be side. I'm gonna or like mozzarella.
I know. Don't let.
I love that little bowl. Well, not this big bowl actually. Anyway, your thoughts on him?
I didn't hate it.
Yeah,
I
same.
did not hate it. I also did the thing that I said that I was going to start doing, which is when I realize there's a movie that I want to see,
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to lay off and try not to let too many outside voices start to get in my head about, good, bad, or whatever. And, but in doing that, I sometimes don't know fully what the movie is going to be about. So for this, all I knew was football. And then if Jordan Peele was somehow involved, there's going to be some spooky element to it.
Yeah. Not gonna be wrong. Yeah.
So, and then you throw Marlon into the mix, Marlon Wayans, who we know is the actor of the Wayans family, right? So I'm thinking, so I'm thinking, okay, him probably gonna be a little crazy. Marlon does crazy good. Like, we've got potential here.
Yeah.
And then Tyreek Withers. I wasn't even, because I was curving the promo and all of that stuff so much, I didn't even realize that this is a whole Black guy that we're looking at here, who I've seen in other things and just was completely not putting two and two together. And so when I realized it was him, I was like, oh, this, makes me even more interested. So there's just elements about it where I was like, this could possibly be ruined for me if I let folks have their way. So let me just let the movie come out and then try to see it as soon as possible.
Yeah.
And we did that. And I have to say that I know the critics said it was, not it. And I kind of get why somebody might not like it.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
even though I didn't hate it,
Yeah.
I could see how people would be a little turned off by some of the stuff that goes on in that movie. So, um, some of the choices stylistically, I thought were a bit hokey, a bit too much. It was almost like the director was trying too hard to appeal to the Jordan Peele audience.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So let me throw these like Jordan
Yeah.
Peele-esque elements in here, but because I'm trying to be a little bit different, let me really ramp it up. And
Yeah.
I felt like some of that was a little too
It's empty.
cartoonish.
It was empty. It didn't. It
Yeah,
didn't.
yeah.
Didn't connect the way I think they wanted it. I think also people, because Jordan Peele was involved. By the way, folks, producer, not director, not writer.
Right.
I think people were expecting it to be sort of like the next installment in the Get Out, Us, Nope kind of energy. And it's not that, right? Like it's because it's not, it can't be, So I feel like that also, people had that expectation and we're kind of like, oh, this is not what I thought it would be. I think also it being about football and sort of like a cautionary tale about NFL, basically, doesn't sit well with people, right? It's the same way people didn't go see Concussion. It's the same, besides Will Smith's accent, but like it's like those, because I'm not sure why that happened. But anyway, long story short, like tell the truth. Why are we doing this? But I feel like that was. I'm just saying that. Why was that the accent? You probably didn't even see the film because you knew the accent was not it.
No,
right?
I did not do that.
See? That's what I'm saying. But yeah, so I feel like I didn't hate it, but to your point, I can see why people didn't enjoy it. So I don't know. And I was reading, if you go deeper into the Jordan Peele of it all, I was reading that he originally wanted weapons, like he went out for it and got outbid or something like that, which I think is interesting.
Really? Because I think he would have done very well with weapons.
I agree. Yeah, I was like, interesting. Like, I think perhaps that was what he wanted. And then I heard this script had been kind of reworked a bunch. And so maybe this final version of it was thinner than the original intended, which also I saw somewhere on Threads, a writer was talking about, she saw it and it was terrible. She wanted to leave the theater in the first 30 minutes, but which I didn't get that at all, but okay. But she was saying like she heard that the script was like, it was part of like the blackout of the blacklist 2023, and like things weren't getting made and things like that. So whatever the final form of it was, there may have not been enough for Marlon and Tariq to work with. I thought they did great for what they had, but
I think the acting was top tier. I think Marlon and Tariq both gave performances that they should be proud of.
Yeah.
And for this to be, I think this is pretty much Tariq Withers' like big movie moment.
Yeah.
Even if you don't like this movie, give that kid more work.
More work.
Give that kid more work.
And Marlon needs to do more and not Scary Movie more. Like I want to see more
I'd like to see
of
Marlon
you in this. He's good.
To be a little bit more grown up, some more grown up stuff.
Yeah.
Because he is silly and will always do silly well.
For sure. Yeah.
He also can turn up that little something dark in him that he can tap into, that he brings that his siblings don't quite have.
Yeah.
And so it was good to see that come out because I think he did push himself. I think they both pushed themselves.
I agree.
carry these roles.
I agree.
And Julia Fox was perfectly cast in that part.
Agreed.
That's
Yeah.
where I want to see her show up.
Yeah.
She nailed that part.
Mhm.
And then you like you said, it has that kind of criticism of NFL draft life, and these young men putting their minds, bodies, souls, and everything on the line to get this,
Yeah.
right? To get to this place. Which is something that I've been critical about, in the past. You know how I feel about the NFL as an organization. It's for me, it's go birds, and then everybody else can go home. Like, I try to keep it at my Eagles, and then, go back to being annoyed by that
You
whole
treat it like how people
institution.
treat Miami and Florida. It's like, oh no, this is Miami. That's not in Florida.
Yeah,
Like,
or Philly versus the rest of
yeah,
Pennsylvania.
right. Yes,
Yeah,
sure.
gotta pull us out of the mess. Um, so I think that there was just such good bones there for a story, and definitely that connection between that whole process, that
Mhm.
training process, that commitment, that just like, I'm willing to put my literally my brain on the line for
Yeah,
this, right?
yeah,
Like, the comparison between that and like this dark underworld, scary, like secret party,
yeah.
weird shit that goes on with these people behind closed
Rituals,
doors.
the
And
who
yeah,
owns the
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 owners.
team, the relationship between the owners and the players, which has always been a little master slave to me. I think that, like, also thinking about, like, when you're a kid, especially as a man, when you're a boy, football is what you're conditioned to support, be a part of. You're in the pee-wee teams, you're playing, in the little leagues. You might
Every boy cousin that I have
have to you
played
had
football.
you had to
Yes. Yep.
it doesn't matter what, you have to play football, you have to root for a team, you have to, like, and of course you love it and you grow to love it and you be a part of it and whatnot. And as you get older, you still tap into it, right? But like, life stops for the NFL draft, life stops for NFL Sundays, life stops for Super Bowl. So I love that there's just little small things, like when he's watching Marlon, who plays Isaiah, play, and he has that almost career-ending injury. Spoiler alert. And he, like, looks away from the screen, and his father just slightly turns his face to look,
Yes.
and it's like,
Yes.
you're gonna do this. You can be better. You can
Yep.
be this.
Yep.
That to me, that little thing there, I was like, no, they're on something. I'm
That was
invested.
real. That was
Yeah.
real. Yeah. Because
Mm-hmm.
I know people like that in real life.
Mm-hmm.
I know, people who the only time their dad is even remotely interested in them
Yeah.
is when they were running on that football field.
Correct. Yeah. Correct.
And, tapping into that, yeah, like, I thought that there were some really good little gems in there.
Yeah.
And overall, there was a pretty decent story that
Mm-hmm.
was told.
Yeah.
But for me, it just went a little too off the rails.
Yeah. Yeah.
It
It
just
needs to be reined in a bit.
needs to be
Yeah.
reined in. Some of the like artistic elements were doing a little too much, and it
Mhm.
took away from the film a little bit for me.
You were talking about art and, like, the artistic choices rather in this film, and some of them were a little off. But I wondered if, in general, when things are more art focused or art forward in a film, does the Black community or people get lost? Is it too much for them to understand? Because the reason why I'm asking this is because I feel like that's been the critique about this film, right? They didn't understand it, or, like, they didn't like where it veered off to, particularly towards the end of the film and the ending of the film. And when I think about other films by Black directors, they tend to be a little bit more tied nicely, and it has an ending for the most part. And then there's a thought that perhaps when Black community goes to the movies, they go to be entertained. They're not going to be, thought provoking or think differently. They want something that made them laugh and that can distract them from their daily life, and that's kind of it.
Right.
It's a wildly broad generalization that I don't agree with necessarily, but I'm just kind of
Right.
stating before people get in the threads and start calling me Uncle Tom's and stuff. So I just want to be clear. But yeah, so I was curious, like, do you feel like they were too artistic? Do you feel like, because also I saw on another podcast, they were talking with Tariq about the film, and asking him about, what he thinks about the critics and things like that. And not just critics, but like critique of the film in general. And he was mentioning, like art for art's sake, and that it's not always to entertain and things like that. So just curious, like your thoughts on all of that.
I mean, it's great to say. I mean, as a creator, or the person, with, brush in hand, doing the strokes, if you will. You're always going to look at it from the perspective of, this is what I do, and the people have to either accept it, you know what I mean? Understand it for however they understand it, accept it for what it is, and, take from it whatever they will, right? Use yourself, your life, or whatever as the filter
Mhm.
that this art form will come through, and then, take from it what you will.
Yeah.
And that's pretty much what we've, all accepted art to be. But within that,
Mhm.
right, there's always this nuance of, well, it also has to perform another purpose.
Mm.
Like, movies also have to entertain. That's how everybody stays working.
Right.
Um, just like fashion, right, has to sell. That's why we have categories of ready to wear versus, couture or whatever. So, there's always this element of, we still got to be able to sell it
Yeah.
at the end of the day.
Sure.
So it sounds amazing,
Mm.
right? To say,
Sure. Yeah.
it's, I don't do it for this. It's for the art, and, art is subjective, and it's blah, blah, blah. Yes, it is. It's all of those things. All of those things are true.
Yeah.
But, if we want to keep doing art just for the love,
Yeah.
then we don't need a multi-billion-dollar movie industry
Yeah.
to do that. So we
Yeah.
can't be naive. We
Sure.
can't be, you know what I mean? Like, we can't be, and this is somebody who, I come from both of those worlds, right?
Sure.
Like,
Yeah.
on the one hand, I'm, creative and art school and blah, 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 but I'm also very much a business minded person, and, you know, way more, capitalist probably than artist, in my opinion. So, um, I've always had to look at both. You know what I mean? Like, because for my job, it's how do we get here
Mhm.
to you being able to eat?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, we love
Yeah.
the things.
Sure.
We want you to be able to do all of the things, but we
Yeah.
also want you to be able to eat. We also want shelter and clothes
Sure.
on our back.
Yeah.
So I can appreciate the sentiment for sure. And it
Mm.
really only works when we're talking about paintings that we want to hang in our houses. It does not work when you're talking about art that you all have decided to turn into industry.
Yeah.
And we have to think about the industry.
Mm.
So I think that from an industry standpoint, this gentleman who created him is going to listen to some of the things, the critiques and the things. I think there is potential for him to do better things in the future if he listens to a little bit of that.
Yeah. Yeah. there
You know
is
what I mean? Like,
there's good feedback in a lot of what some of the critics have said, right? I think that, and I remember it was Lena Waithe was talking about how, she's not above feedback or critique. She was like, she's an artist and she does put out the art that she feels very strongly about. But she was like, there is this notion, I'm totally paraphrasing this, so not word for word, but she was like, there's this notion that like Black art can't be critiqued. It has to be just accepted, and that's what it is, because it's like it took on people to get here and like blah 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 and
yeah,
all that.
yeah.
And she's like, I don't agree with that. Like, if people have an issue with, I forgot what she was promoting at the time, but she's like, if they don't like Boomerang or they didn't like 20s or whatever, like, I'm okay with that, because like, I also need to grow. I also need to understand like what's resonating, what's not. I'm not going to completely change my style or who I am, but like, it's good to hear that. And so I think that like with this, with highest to lowest, it's like important to, and everybody, has an opinion. And sometimes it's like, you just didn't like because you didn't like it. That's fine. But like, there is something about even what we're doing, like trying to give answers or feedback that helps to grow the industry, helps to grow the artist, right? Because like, for each of that, he never works again, that would suck, because he's a talented guy and like deserves to have more
Right.
going on for, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's that was all I was wanting to say on that. I felt like,
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And for me, it just and I think to the point Lena was trying to make is, there needs to be balance. You
mhm,
know what I mean? Like, yes, what I want to do and, my vision is ultimately going to be the one that, makes its way to the finish line, but at the same time, being open to considering some other thoughts around the things that you are doing, because you have the opposite end of it, which is like all industry, right? Like, to me, Tyler Perry is like, it's all commerce over here, baby. Y'all keep that art shit for somebody else. Like, I don't
well,
think
let him tell it.
he's,
He's doing both.
no, he's not. And it's fine. It's fine. I don't believe that he thinks that.
Yeah. Well, he thinks he's telling the stories that are of a certain crowd that deserve to be told that aren't, right? And he feels like people don't relate to them, and that's why they complain about them.
No, that's not true.
That's not true, of course, but
I
that is,
mean, yeah, like I understand that he thinks that that response is giving, but
yeah.
it's just not true. Like, I literally personally know someone who could fit into any given Tyler Perry movie.
Mhm.
Like a real life example. Like, I looked at those movies and be like, oh my God, that's so and so. So we know you're telling real stories. That
Yeah,
doesn't mean you're good at it. The art part is being good at it.
right, right. Not just writing it
Yeah,
in between
not just
commercial.
writing it, not just, and you've already made it clear, Mr. Perry, that you don't care about
Right.
the
Yeah.
artistic integrity of what you
No.
do.
Yeah.
You've said out of your own mouth, well, I have an audience, they like it,
Mhm.
and that's who I cater to.
Sure.
And so because of that, I don't need to push myself any further.
That's what he said. I mean, and I understand, like when he did his first film, when he did Diary of a Mad Black Woman, and sorry, that was just wild. And when he did that film, I think that's the first time he got, critics, Roger Ebert, and they panned the film. It's terrible. This is crazy. Blah blah blah. And I think from then on, I think he stopped showing his films to critics, because he was like, they don't understand it. They won't get it. I'm not going to waste my time. I don't understand the films they love. They don't understand the film I make, and that's it, right?
And that's fine.
It's been fine, or he's moved on. But yeah, it definitely. I mean, that also was another topic for like a whole other episode.
Yeah.
That was probably just
These
like,
are just some of the things that we'll get more in depth on in like future episodes and stuff like that. But this is a crazy conversation. So shout out to everybody behind the movie Him for,
yeah,
you know, it was talked about for
for
sure.
sure, for
It was
sure.
talked about for sure. And you had made a point that I thought was interesting after we saw the movie, when you were like, people who liked weapons didn't like him, and people who liked
Yeah,
him didn't like weapons. I thought that was
mhm,
interesting.
yeah,
I I liked them both.
Okay.
I think Weapons, I would probably say, is the better movie of the two, just from a like it's just cleaner and just, but um I'm trying to think if I would watch him again.
Yeah.
Because that to me also is the determining factor of like whether I'm, you know what I mean? But is that?
Would you watch Weapons again? Because I'm not sure I would.
I think if Weapons came on TV, I would
Okay.
watch it.
I don't know if I'd watch it again. And I
Do I
liked it.
need to watch it again? No.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if it came on and like nothing else was on, I might let it rock. I would let it rock. Yeah. Like
You
I
wouldn't
wouldn't
turn
be
it.
like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I
Now,
never him I watch again.
I feel like him I would watch again. Yeah, I think I would. Now, how old is Tyreek Withers before I say anything else about him? Matter of fact, you know what? I'm not even going there. I'll just say,
We were talking about in the beginning, he's 27.
oh no, he's a baby. All right, I'm a chill.
Well, they say it's to divide your age,
Child, I'm not doing all that math.
divide your age at six.
You lost me at 20. A two in the beginning of the number is
Yeah,
crazy. No,
that's a youngin.
but
Okay. Before we peace out, we do a little can we not?
oh,
Mine is, and we haven't done this in a while for those who are new to the pod. It is a mini rant session, maybe a suggestion, helpful critique, criticism, and way people can just move a little differently. And mine is short. It's always supposed to be short, so I'm going to try to keep it in a minute kind of energy. So can we not? Slide on the screen. Can we not? Let's stop making up anniversaries for things. Let's stop. Can we not? Can we not? So can we not do on this day, 31 years ago and a half, the first episode of The Snorks came out? Like, we don't need to anniversarize everything. Like 25 years, 30 years, 50 years for major things, sure. But like the anniversary episode of the dinosaurs starting, no. The anniversary episode of, Denver the Last Dinosaur, no. The first time Sierra sang on a song, no, like we need to stop doing that. It's not necessary. All it does is make people feel old. It does not help. It is not additive. Be not. Thank you.
Yeah. That is funny because you know what it is? It's content. It's internet content.
Sure, it's fodder.
Like everybody is trying to like find, the next clickable tidbit,
I get it, but
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, it is a little exhausting.
It's exhausting. Because it's like what so every year we're just gonna keep and on another note with that, it's kind of like asterisk. Can we also stop with these wild run on firsts? Like the first rapper under 5'10, Latino, overweight to hit #1. Like, why are we making up these crazy firsts? Like the first woman on the moon. Yes. Not, you know what I'm saying? The first Black male to win Actor of the Year. Sure. But like this whole other weird, no, we don't need it. We don't need it. Can we not? Can we not?
Well, everybody's trying to be a record breaker or, have their pivotal obituary moment. I don't know. But yeah, that's funny. And also, yes, it is a little weird. It is a little weird.
Cut it out. Like, enough.
No, yeah, that's definitely like PR type stuff.
Yeah,
Like, let's try to find some way for you to stand out. Like, let's not. No, that's funny. What's mine? Okay, so mine is well, actually, mine is kind of tied into the conversation about, like art and like how we view it and, because it has to do with fashion and my viewings of these fashion week collections.
Yeah.
That's also a part of my, TV watching.
Sure.
Um, But there's been a lot of chaos in the fashion industry with like all the major houses changing their creative directors, and these brands are kind of losing money right now, and so they're trying to shake things up, right?
Yeah.
And it's just becoming very obvious to me, at least, that the reporting on some of these collections is coming from a place of crazy. And it actually also ties into our like initial conversation about like the integrity of journalism and like all of the things. So I guess my can we not is like, can we not keep lying about these sad as dry as collections?
Yeah.
Because
I got 4 of them, and we can see.
And even though I rarely wear my glasses, baby, my prescription hasn't changed since 9th grade. So these eyes are fine. Okay. So I just need everybody to like get back to being able to say what needs to be said. Like, I understand that everybody is in somebody else's pocket or is in bed with this company. And so, we got to say this because bottom lines are at stake. Man, the girlies back in the day did not give a shit about any of that. They said whatever.
Was it like Hillary Alexander and like those folks that like
Kathy Horan?
Had no problem being like, okay, this collection is trash. Every piece was terrible, and like going in on it,
And
like
going into detail. These fluff pieces that they're given.
Yeah, we can we not? And also, I would add my addendum to your can we not is not only is the journalism not in the room with us, fine, but you folks in the comments pretending like we're the ones that are crazy and that we can't see what we're seeing. Oh, you don't understand Versace? Lie. Oh, you don't understand fashion? Lie again. Like, oh, this was someone was like, I saw in the thread, someone was like, oh, well, like, Versace was like for the girls of the night. Like it was a very,
I did a whole research paper on the House of Versace.
Yeah.
I know the history of the brand.
Right. And someone was like,
down that runway.
Well, they were like, oh, well, there's different versions of what a girl of the night could be. I said, okay. So let's do it. Let's do it. All right. So we're making stuff up now. Okay, fine. Yeah. Someone said it.
See what happens when everybody has a voice?
Oh, this is back to.
So, and on that note.
Well, yes. Love that. Love that. Love that. Can we not? I agree wholeheartedly.
I'm going to fight for it.
Yeah.
Even if I don't agree. It's the same thing with like my body, my choice, right? I'm not doing it, but I'm going to protect somebody else's right.
Sure. For sure. I mean, absolutely.
It's the same thing. So like, you would hope that everybody who opens their mouths knows what they're talking about, just like you would hope every woman that opens her legs knows how to raise a child. It doesn't always happen that way. But guess what? We got to look at the bigger picture, right? So on that note, let everybody say all the things. That's not too much to add me because I like to tussle. But other than that.
That's it. All right. Well, as usual, it's great chatting with you.
I survived video chatting.
Our first video, our first visual podcast. Visual. Right. There's a whole backstory, take the lemonade. No.
Hopefully by our next taping, hopefully I will have found a hairstylist and maybe not show up with this bun. So yeah, that's still a thing.
This lace front is killing me. So hopefully I get the barber to help me out. I too will have a new hairstyle when next time we record. So get ready for that. I feel like I'm gonna put the camera on. I'm not gonna tell Tristan. I'm just gonna start recording, and she's just gonna like laugh, and screen is gonna go black.
The whole thing will be a mess. So if that's what the people want, sure, that's what we'll do.
No. This is it, folks. This is the look. Sorry. The glasses may change, the beard might change. This is what I got. But until next time, see ya. All right.